What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Yes, you made it to the end of the preseason, and we are here to get you ready for the 2022 NFL season. But before we do that, I'm going to give you my three takeaways from the last preseason game that the Kansas City Chiefs took on the Green Bay Packers and the preseason as a whole. So make sure you stick around for that on today's KCSN Update presented by DraftKings.
You are listening to KC Sports Network, the #1 podcast network for today's Kansas City sports fans. With former players from your favorite teams, informed perspectives, and former insiders, this is the place for you. KC Sports Network is proudly presented by Emprise Bank, your partner in possible.
Before I get into my three takeaways, I have to tell you about our friends at DraftKings. And if you're living in Kansas, DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to the Sunflower State. It won't be long until you can bet on all of your favorite sports from the comfort of your own home. To celebrate, all new customers will receive $100 in free bets when you sign up using the code KCSN. Plus, one lucky customer will win a $100,000 free bet. That's right. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving you $100 in free bets just for signing up today. No deposit required. Soon you'll be able to bet on money lines, spreads, props, and more with one of America's top-rated sportsbook apps, DraftKings Sportsbook. Plus, you'll be entered to win a $100,000 free bet when you sign up. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up with code KCSN to get $100 in free bets to use once mobile sports betting hits Kansas. Plus, one lucky customer will win a $100,000 free bet. That's code KCSN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Must be 21 years or older, physically present in Kansas. Eligibility restrictions apply. See terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements. One per customer. $100 issued as 4 $25 free bets. No purchase necessary for sweepstakes. Void where prohibited. Ends first aid. DraftKings is allowed to operate in Kansas. See terms at dkng.co/ks. Okay, my first takeaway from this last preseason game for the Kansas City Chiefs is the tight end room. Matt Bushman had a really good day catching all three of his targets, I believe for 73 yards and 2 scores. Good day for Matt Bushman at the office. Unfortunately, he breaks his clavicle towards the end of the game there, so that leaves kind of a big question mark at the tight end position. They already had an injury with Blake Bell. He had surgery. They placed him on the PUP list. He's out for at least 4 weeks. So it's going to be difficult to see how the Chiefs set up their 53-man roster with all this injuries going on in the tight end room. Who's going to be that blocking kind of inline tight end? It's still hard to see because they don't really have that guy on the roster right now. They might have to go out and get somebody to really complement the other types of tight ends that they have in this room with Travis Kelce, Jody Fordson, Noah Gray. They all kind of are more wide receivers than they are blocking tight ends. And they're going to need somebody who can block too. So it'd be interesting to see how they address that tight end room moving forward. And of course, waiver claims going on the 31st. The 30th is when the roster's cut down, and we've got you covered all over here on KC Sports Network. During that roster cut down day, we're going to have all kinds of content for you. So make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you stay up to date, and hit that notification bell too so you don't miss a single one of our videos. All right, my second takeaway from yesterday's game, and really this is from the whole preseason. I've really been noticing this. The first team defensive line is getting after it. The configuration of different guys. They've got Mike Dana going. They've got Karlaftis. You've heard BJ wax poetically about George Karlaftis and how he's been playing really well. Frank Clark, Chris Jones has been a menace to society these first few preseason games. It's good to see some of those guys get a little bit of rest, not play a whole lot. But this defensive line was wreaking a lot of havoc in these preseason games. That first team, the first rotation that you expect to see, doing a lot of good things. You've got Derek Nottie going in and doing some good run fits. Love to see guys fit in really well during the run. Colin Saunders was playing well. So I'm really confident to see where this defensive line is as a whole, not just specifically interior defensive line, not specifically edge rushers. It's the whole line as a whole that I've really liked. And if you think about it, this defensive line, if they can get after the quarterback, that helps the secondary. If they can get off their blocks, if they can deter those linemen from getting to the linebackers. That helps the linebackers. That helps a whole lot. So it really all starts up front. It all starts in the trenches. And if they can have a very positive year moving forward, I really like how this defense is going to look out and how it's going to shape out. They've played really well in this preseason so far, not allowing very many points at all, maybe not allowing any points at all. So that's really good to see from this first team defense. And I'm excited. I know that I've always said that they're going to start slow, be patient with them. You still will have to have some patience, but the early returns, very excited from what I've seen. My third and final takeaway here for my 3 takeaways from the preseason. We got 16 more days until the Kansas City Chiefs take the field in Arizona to face the Arizona Cardinals, and the preseason is finally over. I know a lot of people don't really like the preseason, understandably so. It's a real tune-up time for these guys. It's a real time for coaching staffs to see who they have on the roster, who they can keep, who they can cut, and to try to keep the 53 best guys to help them win a football game on the team. And I know that's sometimes not as interesting to a lot of people as it is for us here at KC Sports Network. I get it, but we are oh so close to that first real football action. We get a little taste of it this weekend when we get to talk about college football starting up. It starts on Saturday. It's going to be such a great time of year. College football season just in general is kicking up. And I'm so excited for everything that we have planned here at KC Sports Network to keep you up to date and informed with your favorite team, the Kansas City Chiefs, and what we've got going on for the Kansas City Chiefs. This team looks like to be exciting. The offense looks to be dynamic, unpredictable. This defense looks to be aggressive, hard hitting, like we're so used to seeing a Chiefs defense be. I know I'm saying this word a lot, but excited is the word for this Chiefs team. I think they're going to be a little underrated going into this year, and it's about to drop all the talk, and it's about to go into real football action, and I cannot wait. That is my third and final takeaway from the preseason. Let's wrap this whole preseason up with the final post-game press conferences from the Chiefs and the Packers game that was played yesterday. Coach Andy Reid took to the podium. He gave us an injury update real quick. I'll let him tell you about all the injuries that they've got going into this 16-day layoff that they'll have before the Arizona Cardinals game. A little bit longer stretch than they have in years past, which is good, especially with some of these guys banged up, including Trent McDuffie, who left the game with a concussion and the concussion protocol on Thursday. So I'll let Andy Reid tell you about that. And here's what he had to say after the game about the preseason and what they've got planned and moving forward.
All right. As far as the injuries go, Trent McDuffie is being evaluated for concussion. Matt Bushman fractured his clavicle, and then Malik Herring has an oblique strain, and Ely his right knee. We're just evaluating it as we go. Other than that, right now we're okay. It was good game to get the young guys into. I thought they did a nice job of finishing it out. We were able to get the run game going a little bit, and which we needed to do coming off the last 2 games. So I thought all in all, got a good evaluation of young players and stayed relatively healthy and worked on the run game a little bit. So with that, time's yours. Yeah, so look, Adam, next week it'll be an opportunity for us to go through a normal week's practice back at the facility. We'll keep the times kind of the same. We'll change some things up practice-wise, but just so the guys have a chance to go through a normal game week. This was more like a Thursday game and, in-season Thursday game, and we'll try to give them the whole picture with that and set it up that way. So we'll work this week, and then they'll get a few days off, and then we'll start back up for Arizona. Yeah, so I like the speed they're playing with. I like the communication that's taking place there. There's a certain confidence they're developing in one another that will continue through the season. But I've seen, to answer your question, the progress in those areas. And listen, the more familiar they are with each other, the faster they'll get even yet. Yeah, that was Clark's suggestion, and players completely bought into it and wanted to do it. And then we added just the little wrinkle at the end there where I'm the official. Craig did an amazing job of mentioning Lynn. But listen, it's a tribute to a great person, a great player, and then all he did in your profession there. Very seldom are you a Hall of Famer in two different things, man. That's you know, he had a wonderful life and really took advantage every day he had on earth here. So yeah, he wanted to jump in there. Kelsey, who wasn't going to play, he wanted to jump in there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, and then the defense couldn't wait to see it. I mean, it was crazy the way it worked out. It was, I mean, Spags was going. He missed it, and he was the guy that was most excited about it, and he missed it over there talking to his guys. So, but he'll see it on tape there. But it was a neat deal, again, for a great person. You know, I thought Rojo ran hard. He had good vision, and shoot, I didn't think he did anything to hurt himself. In our eyes, you know, or whatever happens to him down the road here. So, but I thought he did a nice job for us. Yeah, I thought the same thing there. Yeah. Now this is without watching the tape, but I thought he ran hard. I thought both those guys, they're big men, and they played big, and they weren't shying away from anything. Yeah, you know, yeah. Bushman's got phenomenal hands, and he's shown that all through camp. And he was just coming back off of where he tweaked his knee, and then he landed on it, and you could kind of see the way it was. You know, he was wrapped up and fell on it. I knew, as he did, that something was wrong there with his shoulder. So.
Moving along here on KCSN Update. If you like the content, make sure to drop a like on this video. Comment and tell me your favorite part of the preseason. What's your favorite part? What are you most excited for this season as well? Drop a comment below. Looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say as well. So let's move on with Bryan Cook. Nabbed an interception in this game, the rookie from Cincinnati. Here's what he had to say following the game.
I mean, I wouldn't say now that I got the interception for like a player though, but that came, you know, first week of preseason, just the first drive for me. Honestly, it came during camp. That's probably like the biggest as far as like a lot of playbook coming thrown at you and be able to manage that, still be a leader as a young guy, or trying to anyway. I think that's when I started the whole in. So now with the games and just trying to, you know, play as well as I can as a young guy and fly around and basically, you know, hold myself accountable for the guys that's around me, and then set a good example for the young guys that also follow me, and then making the guys above me proud, as well as coaches and things of that nature. So, yeah. But like I said, camp was where I think that kind of really like honing in on everything started to smooth out for me. OTAs was a bit of a struggle, I would say, for my eyes personally. But I think camp was what really helped me a lot. From the day in and day out, I learned the whole playbook, and he would just randomly call different plays from different installs. So I think that's a big part. And then, you know, with the safeties making a lot of checks, it forced me to do that. And then as well as him putting me in different positions, having to learn all that aspect. So just constantly like having the good struggle, if you will, helps me a lot with that aspect. So yeah, it's pretty smooth right now. Well, I'm gonna be. It depends on how you look at it. Honestly, you know, how you look at anything is, well, like if you look at something long enough or you have your own perspective about it, it would change based on how you look at it. So how I look at it is the positive. I don't try to look at the negatives because, you know, at the end of the day, we're flying around, we're having fun. We learn each other. It was chemistry. That comes with any other team. I think that's a big part. But the positive is there, the effort is there, the love for one another is there, and, like, the accountability is there. So with those things, you know, adding together, I don't feel like there's no, like, oh, it's a downfall. You make mistakes, things happen. You know, it's any given Sunday, things like that kind of happen. But as far as a whole aspect, like, I just look at all the positive, and there's a lot of positive with this group. I'm looking forward to seeing it and how it all develop. Well, first and foremost, I mean, the quarterback, that was probably the biggest key. He has a ball. But seeing how the routes develop, and then knowing how the routes develop, I would say, and knowing who had what in our coverage, I was able to make a play and able to jump it. And then knowing that I had a guy, Zane, underneath, so he had to force to throw the ball over top. So I'm like, all right, well, either two is going to happen. Either I'm going to get the pick, or it's going to be, you know, underneath and it's going to hit him in the back. So I was able to get over there in time and, you know, get the pick. I was just, you know, lucky enough to get that. But it was just nothing like too extravagant and just kind of reacted to it. But it was one of those plays. I made it to practice too, so it's kind of like ironic. Yeah, how much of the preseason? All of it. And that comes from even camp. Camp's long. It's tiring. It's hot. But embrace it, because at the end of the day, like, at one point in time as a little kid, wishing to be in these shoes. So being grateful each and every day, knowing you store, knowing things like that, it starts with that. And having the self-discipline to keep showing up and keep putting your best foot forward, and knowing that it's okay to make mistakes. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it's okay because I'm very hard on myself, but at the same time, I have to be able to understand, like I told Josh, next play. Be courteous with myself in that aspect. And I know, like, a lot of coaches, a lot of players try to, like, tend to calm down certain aspects. I'm very, very hard on myself. I want everybody to make sure that, I don't want everybody to make sure we're on the same page, things like that. But I think as far as, like, the process, it's been a blessing. I'm definitely embracing it, I would say. And then as far as looking forward to it, like I said, each and every day just building those blocks. That's all I can do. You can't, you didn't build Mount Everest or you don't climb Mount Everest, overnight. It takes time. So just keep chipping away, keep stabbing at it, keep moving forward.
I love me some Bryan Cook. Next guy, there's not a lot of people that don't like this guy. Isiah Pacheco took to the podium after having a 10 carries for 52 yards on Thursday. Good day for him. Here's what he had to say.
Definitely getting comfortable out there with the guys, the O-line, being able to slow down my game and be a little bit more patient, take advantage of that. Just definitely coming in early, looking at the guys, the older guys, getting a routine going, just picking their brains, feeling so I could feel most comfortable out there. Coming in early, getting the plays down, being able to execute fast. That's what I'm coming in here to do. Just a kid from Violent, South Jersey. Just hoping my dreams come true. And when I got the call, it couldn't be anywhere better than here. I was just truly blessed about that. And once the moment came for me to get here, it was all work. I was just ready to put my foot forward and listen, whatever coach want me to do, I'm gonna do it to help win games. Just being humble and blessed. Just coming in with the same mentality every day, looking at the guys, the older guys, just picking their brains, and being a younger guy, just working hard every day, just showing them that I'm a player that they could count on, and I'm doing whatever I got to do to help the team win. Just going in tomorrow, whenever we have practice, and picking those 3 things to get better at. And once I see them on tape, then I'm going to be able to execute it. Growing up, I never went to an NFL game, only MLB game. But, yeah, my preseason was my first NFL game that I've been to, and I actually, played in it. So that was pretty dope for me. Oh, it was crazy. I was like, damn, this. I'm sorry, but it was a lot of fans for a preseason game. For me, coming to Rutgers is, those scrimmages we get against each other in college. We don't have preseason games, so it's nothing like the fans out there. So I'm definitely blessed to be here.
Last one here from the podium after the Chiefs and Packers game. It's going to be backup quarterback Shane Buechele finds himself in a QB3 battle with Dustin Crum. Some people on Twitter were saying, hey, maybe he should be QB2. Maybe he should make this roster. Could he make this roster with a little bit of injuries, and maybe they'd keep 3 quarterbacks instead of keeping maybe 4 tight ends and 4 running backs? Maybe they keep 3 quarterbacks. Who knows? There's a lot of questions that's going to be asked like that. There's a lot of number crunching that has to happen. Luckily, that's not our job. It's Brett Veach and companies and the coaching staff's job to figure all that out. But here's what Shane had to say after the game.
I felt good.
Your overall feelings from start to finish?
Yeah, it was a good night. First of all, I'm glad we got the win. To finish preseason out, Game 3 with a win is always big. But, the team did a great job from start to finish. We didn't score a lot of points offensively, but our defense played really well. And like I said, just glad we got a win. Yeah, 10, the running back, he's running really hard. I'm really happy for him, being a rookie. And, he plays hard, but he also is very comfortable out there, too, for a rookie. So it's always fun being back there with him and being able to hand it off to him and see what he does. Yeah, they do a great job just whenever we come off the sideline. Pat's right there telling us what he sees. Chad also is right there. And, they do a good job of staying engaged the whole time. And, it's great for us to learn from those guys when they're on the field, but even when they're off the field, they do a great job of coaching us and helping us get better. Yeah, recently I've seen the highlights and, I know a lot of the history of him. It's a terrible thing that he passed away, and, we're praying for his family and his loved ones. But, a Chiefs legend, a Hall of Famer, And just being able to honor him tonight was huge for our team and also the Chiefs community in general.
All right, that's going to do it for us here at KCSN Update for this week. Thank you for sticking with us all the way to the end of this video and all the way through this week as we took you all the way through the preseason and gave you a good feel of what's going on with the Kansas City Chiefs. We hope we can do that for you every single week. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed this content, and we'll be back on Monday to give you a new look on what's going on with this Kansas City Chiefs team. So until then, I'm Tucker Franklin. We'll talk to you next week.